All right, here in round 2, we have the choice. We're going to play first. Let's see here. So we have a Loam Dryad. We are just a land away from... This hand might be more keepable than you think. I guess we... Now, even if we draw... Yeah, I kind of want to keep this hand. It seems a bit greedy, though. It's not like it's working towards anything. It still requires lands. I think we can do better than this. This one I guess I will keep, but we're going to bottom anything that's not a forest. All right, that's got to go on the bottom. So I guess when we play this Wailing Ghoul, we're really hoping we don't mill two forests. That would be a problem. Or we could just draw a forest here and then I'm not worried about it. Uh-oh. All right. Not 2 forests, please. Or else that'd be a real aw shucks moment, huh? All right, I guess that, I mean, that's ideal. Well, obviously losing Arlen's not ideal, especially given that we've got our red mana in hand. But milling 2 non-forests is ideal. Our opponent is very confused right now. They see an Arlen Cord in the graveyard and they're like, what? All right. Beautiful. Wailing Ghoul, tremendously helpful for us there. So Grapple with the Past can, at this point, I guess, bring back our Scavenger, which is actually good for a couple of reasons. If we mill another creature, Grapple with the Past can let us bring back Scavenger to bring back another creature. So these cards kind of work well together. So far, Grapple with the Past has been everything I wanted it to be. A good Delirium Enabler as well as a good green Raise Dead effect. At this point, I like it more than the Cemetery Recruitment, especially given that it's in green, where I'd rather have a Raise Dead effect than in black. If our opponent attacks, I'm going to block with the Wailing Ghoul. It just makes a lot more sense to me. Yes, okay. Primal Druid. Well, all right. We'll play it. Like, I'm not going to be able to leave up Grapple to Pass now, but that's okay. So, if I attack... I think we do attack here. Actually, we're going to play it safe. I should have... Once again, I should have attacked pre-combat so I could have a chance to play the aim high. But now that he could have like a strength of arms, even though I guess he wouldn't even have to, it wouldn't really lend him protection. But I'd rather just, I guess basically I should have just attacked and not played the Primal, well, play the Primal Druid post-combat. For some reason I didn't think I was attacking. I mean, I don't have to offer a Woodland Patrol for a Steadfast Cathar either. I don't really have a ton of incentive to do that. I probably want to trade a Woodland Patrol for a Briarbridge Patrol, though. That makes more sense. I guess I don't really want to trade an aim high for a Steadfast Cathar plus a Unruly Mob pump anyway. Okay, so I think we actually want to grapple now. So Rats, Supplicant, Scavenger. We want Scavenger for sure. And then we can get back even more value, so that's just great for us. Okay. Plus we have Delirium now. Chaplain's a fantastic card. Very strong card. Alright, let's play the Scavenger. Guess we'll bring back the... Supplicants versus the rats. The rats can block the patrol, but we have a lot of guys that can block the patrol. The supplicant could be better later, possibly, if we ever get ahead on life total, but I'm not sure how likely that is yet. I guess we'll bring back the supplicant. It seems like a slightly more versatile card than the rancid rats. So we can play everything but our noose grab mob. So does that mean I want to sandbag the land? Probably not, actually. Attacking with everything. Well, that's pretty scary. So I think we're going to end up taking the Briarbridge Patrol. I assume he has... I think it's a safe assumption he's got a combat trick here. So I think that means we're going to block like such. We actually really want to make sure this mob dies. So I think it's probably better to block like this. Like I said, I think we're just going to take the patrol. So if he has a combat trick to pump the chaplain, maybe it's better to just block like this. Because the ghoul won't be able to kill it if he pumps the toughness, whereas... But if he pumps... I think he's got the +2/+0/+0/+2 escalate spell, is my guess. But then I won't have a good means to block his Briarbridge. Well, that's not true. I can double... Yeah, I think this is fine. I don't want him to investigate. And this ensures, even with that trick, his guys die. My Primal Druid might die, but yes. He did have kind of precisely what I thought he did, so I actually blocked in a way that I'm pretty happy with. I think I blocked probably the best way you could ask for, considering he did have the card I thought he had. He doesn't get to investigate for nothing. We get to, I guess, deck thin a little bit. We're going to be able to leave up aim high now. Should be good. We'll use the druid, I guess. His mob died too, which is really important. New Scrap Mob's a good draw. I don't think we're going to attack with the Wailing Ghoul in case he has an answer for mob. So I can still at least block the Steadfast Cathar. So we can start swinging with our mob. That's actually not that bad. So we got rid of one of his best removal spells. And we got a zombie. And the only cost that it came at was... So if he attacks here, I probably just don't block, because it's too obvious of a double block that's profitable for us. So I'd rather keep up aim high next turn and more safely block. Green. All right. Well, I think he doesn't have a trick if he's not attacking there. All right. Well, So I guess we can start to go on the offensive here. Although then he can crack back. No, I guess we still have to play it cool, Daddy-O. So I guess we'll fork in the road. Deck thin. Keep up aim high. Not going to play the land because now we have Supplicant. Discard fodder at some point, and we can play everything in our deck, so it doesn't matter. That card's good. At least he doesn't have Delirium, and at least he hasn't used his Nearheath Chaplain yet. Both of those things are great news for us. So we may have to use aim high if he attacks with the Survivalist. I probably double block with my 3 toughness guys first, though, and see if he has a combat trick. And if he does, or see which one he puts first, which I assume is going to be the Supplicant. In which case, maybe I can save my aim high. All right, we're going to actually... He's got creature, sorcery, instant. So he is 1 away from this becoming a 5/4 trample, which is good. But Briarbridge Patrol is going to net him some cards, which worries me. I don't know what worries me more. I guess currently a potential 5/4 trample worries me more than a 3/3 that investigates. They're both worrisome. I think we're going to go for the bigger dude, actually. Like I don't want him to draw cards, but I feel like a 5/4 trample is a bit more of a hassle to kill. Okay. So it looks like he got it anyway. Okay. So I guess we play the aim high to counter that. Unfortunately, he's still going to get to draw, but he does lose his creature, which is relevant. Prey Upon is still a very good card, but thankfully we held on to that aim high. So I'm not going to use Skurzdag Supplicant. We're behind on life totals right now, so that doesn't really make sense to me. I guess I might as well just leave up the red mana. At this point, I've kind of indicated to my opponent that I don't have any other red cards in my deck other than the Arlen Cord. All right. Graph rats seem fine. Gonna need to find our other grapple with the past to get back our scavenger, but hey, at least it's a plan. Ah, there we go. Perfect. All right. This is good synergy. Grapple and Midnight Scavenger are phenomenal together. So we can get back rats, foul blood. I think we want foul blood, actually. We could take... This seems good. Seems real good. All right. Let's meld. Expose evil. Aha! It was expose evil. We can still smash here. I mean, our round one opponent had two of those 3-mana 2/3 flash guys, so I would hope that the odds aren't great that this opponent has more than that, or has one as well. I guess even if they do, they can take out our supplicant. All right. Sure. All right. We're still fine. Suppose my opponent can attack here. I'm glad they didn't, but it actually was a fairly safe attack for my opponent. So if I attack with Chittering Host, what can they do? They could block with these two, in which case I could only trade the Survivalist for the Host. That still seems fine, but might as well play it a little more patiently than that. So let's just play well, he is tapped out, though, and he probably has a bunch of tricks. I mean, white has flyers. We still have draws that are very good. We have a lot less cards in our deck than our opponent, though. Yeah, this is debatable. I think we are actually going to swing with the Chittering Host here. We'll trade a Host for a Survivalist. I guess the main reason is if he gets Delirium, I'm going to have to make this trade anyway. No blocks is kind of surprising, right? I would say. Especially given that it puts us ahead on life total, which is going to be good for our supplicant. Okay. Maybe he was playing around a trick there, which is entirely possible since I have cards in my hand. Well, now we can actually start using supplicant here. And we don't have to attack with the host anymore either, which is quite nice. All right, let's play this guy. So I could actually attack with Host and Foul Blood. Where does that leave him on blocks? He double blocks here and double blocks here. That seems pretty good for me. But I think we're actually just going to play defensive now that, like I said, now that I'm ahead on life total, it's kind of up to him to pursue the attack here, and he really does not have a good attack. Like, there's no reason to risk combat tricks or removal unnecessarily here, from what I can see. Like, we have him on a 5-turn clock at the moment. His attacks are not very good. Does he have another Borrowed Grace? Well, he could. It is a common. I think we have to hope he didn't top deck it. I could also play this in a way where I just kill him on crackback as long as my... That might be the wisest move, actually. I can play around it fairly comfortably. And the way to do that is... Basically, yeah, that kind of makes sense. As long as these two live, I think we're fine. So let's figure out the best blocks here. So I think the best blocks are going to be killing the safest things possible. And we can afford to lose some things that I don't care about, like this. This does not have trample because he doesn't have delirium at the moment, right? Instant, creature, sorcery, sorcery, sorcery. Doesn't have land. Okay. Let's see here. If I block like this. So we would take 8. That seems like a bit too much. So maybe we prevent... Let's see here. So if I block like this, let's say he has Borrowed Grace. He deals an additional... He deals 6, 10 to us? That does seem like a lot. Do I kill him on crackback, though? I guess I technically do. So we would go to 1. We still kill him on crackback. I kind of want to leave my cultist alive. So, like I said, if he has Borrowed Grace, the only things that are currently unblocked are these two, which means I would take 6, 10 damage, which is not enough to kill us, and it is enough to crack back and kill him, if that is in fact his last card. If his last card is a creature, can we kill him? I guess we can't. He can... Or I guess actually we can, but we risk tying the game? I'm trying to think if I'm being unnecessarily cautious here. I could be. It does feel like he's playing a Borrowed Grace, though, doesn't it? This attack. And keeping my Menace guys just seems so good if he has Borrowed Grace, because then he is just dead. Borrowed Grace. Doesn't kill that. Well, we keep this too, if he has Borrowed Grace, and so we're keeping that. These two are going to die, regardless of whether he plays Borrowed Grace. Do I risk the Cultist or the Supplicant? See, the Supplicant's valuable because it allows the Thraben Foulblood to get in and kill my opponent. I think I do this. This plays around Borrowed Grace pretty safely, since we will, like I said, just take 10 damage. So I think I'm going to play it like this. This seems fine. If we take 10 damage, I guess I won't be able to use Supplicant, but I can at the very least... All right. Like, we can definitely kill him on Crackback now. That was a good draw. I'm not going to show him that, though. And actually, that was the most beautiful draw a boy could ask for, because now, even if he were to, say, have a fog effect, which I'm not aware of any, but I'm sure it exists now, we would get 4 dudes, which is just insane. So we didn't have to show him our Mythic, which is nice. Opponent's deck looks pretty aggressive. A lot of humans. He's got the Lord. He's got removal. He's got some good top end. He has a pretty solid removal or human strategy going, right? And good ones. He forgot about the Chaplain that whole game, which tremendously beneficial for us. We didn't see any flyers, but Swift Spinner just for the Chaplain might be worth it, because we just do not have a lot of reach, and I really need to deal with those flyers. So maybe we take something that we don't need. You know, Primal Druid's been pretty underwhelming. I think I'm going to cut this card. So let's keep everything else, and this card has been about as underwhelming as I thought it would, but that's all right. So let's try this out. This hand's good. I like this. Removal, cheap creatures, our Bomb Mythic, which I would love to get Delirium for. All right. Hamlet Captain, sure. All right, let's play the Wailing Ghoul. Do a wee bit of self-mill. Swamp and a Graph Rats. All right, well, Graph Rats is fine to put in our graveyard because we can always get it back with our Scavenger. All right, so I probably just play Wicker Witch here. No need to use the boon just yet. Hey, speak of the devil. So unless we draw land, we're going to need to draw like a... why did I forget his name already? I've played it a bunch. Grapple with the Past. Can get us back our second swamp, which at this point is useful. So we really have, including the 13 lands, we have 2 Grapple from the Past. That's 15. Plus the ramp 2 drop, that's 16, plus the Loam Dryad. We have 17 draws that directly contribute to our... so more than 50%. That's a good card. That's probably worth a Boon of Emrakul. I don't like dealing with that dude. All right, let's just get rid of that now. So more than 50% of the cards that we can draw are mana sources of some sort. Thraben Inspector. That's a great card. Always a great card. Certainly pairs well with the Hamlet Captain. I think since our opponent missed their land drop, they're going to crack that clue right away, which is a wise idea. Or are they going to prey upon? Oh, okay. I guess I'm okay with that too. All right. Well, let's once again maximize our mana usage by just booning this Hamlet Captain now. We are a land away from Scavenger Rat's play. We could have just played the Scavenger there, but I feel like making better use of mana. I guess, you know, maybe using the removal spell there was wrong. I don't know. All right. So there's our captive. Might mean I have to take a survivalist hit here. Because he can give that menace, though. So if I play the captive and he doesn't kill it, next turn I can play... Maybe I just have to take one hit here. Play the captive. Next turn I can go rat scavenger or even Ishkana. Yeah, let's go captive. We're gonna just take a hit from survivalist and accept it. Because if we draw a land now, we can play Ishkana full value, which is gonna be really good. Although we probably want to do rat scavenger first. Well, I don't know actually. It's tough to say. Or even the Dusk Feaster. We've got some options. I mean, we have the card advantage aspect going for us right now. So that seems fine. I'll trade a Wailing... I'm going to block the Inspector with the Wailing Ghoul because if he's got the pump spell, so be it. I'm not going to double block it and risk a combat trick and lose our ramp. All right, so let's go for the rats scavenger play here. Summerwald Stag's a fantastic card. Second one we've had to contend with today. Too bad we didn't get it. I guess his best fight is just Wailing Ghoul, right? Oh, no, never mind. That makes way more sense. Why do I always overlook the best fight target? Yeah, I guess best use of mana is Woodland Patrol. Still have, I believe, 16 of 23 cards that are directly contributing to our mana base, right? Including Loam Dryad. So 13 lands, and I guess I said 17 with the captive, but geez. Opponent's not making it easy for us, huh? We're going to double block the Survivalist with the Scavenger and the Patrol. Yeah, he saw it too. This we can just offer that up. All right. I mean, we are mere a couple lands away from some hardcore capitalization here. There we go. So, still unfortunately another land away before we got our good action, but that's all right. I mean, we can block Wailing Ghoul Scavenger on the Survivalist too, which is pretty nice. He's got creature sorcery right now too, so. All right, Hunter it is. We are still just I mean, we've got the card advantage in hand here. So if we get the Scavenger, we're going to bring back the captive. Fork in the road. I will take it. I actually don't want to deck thin a land, so we're actually just going to grab our red and not put a land in our graveyard. So we'll play that and we'll pass. I mean, I could attack with my one of the pack. I don't see a reason to do it. Like I said, when you have all the game winners in your hand, there's really no reason to. Multiple Hamlet captains? Opponent's deck is pretty sweet. We've seen a lot of humans. It also works defensively. Keep that in mind. So let's play Ishkanon now. Actually, let's see. 6 mana. Let's play Ishkanon, because then we can actually just win by chilling. We can like set up for a big scavenger play, which is pretty sweet, right? Because we can play Dusk Feaster next turn, which I could have played this turn to set up for an attack next turn, I guess. That might have made more sense, actually. Yeah, probably. But we can play Dusk Feaster into Scavenger and then just go to town. But I mean, now I can also just sit behind a Ishkanon and do all sorts of nasty stuff there too. So we've got our options here. All right, let's get out Dusk Feaster. Remember, Hamlet Captain works defensively as well. It boosts all his humans defensively. So yeah, Scavenger next turn will be pretty nasty. And yes, I should have had Dusk Feaster last turn so I could attack with it. My opponent could have been at 16. Is my opponent going to be dead if I play Scavenger? He can only block 2 creatures, so I imagine he probably is. But I'm not exactly sure. There might be kind of no reason to go all in. New Scrap Mob's pretty sweet. All right, let's just play the mob. Let's set up for a Scavenger. This is sweet. We're going to just set up for a Scavenger. Once again, no, actually, I was gonna say I should have played the new Scrap Mob post combat, but that's not actually true. If he has a removal spell or a combat trick, I'd rather him play it now and start giving me some zombies, because this scavenger is most certainly gonna be lethal. Might have been lethal already. I'm just being overly cautious now. I imagine it's very lethal next turn, though. Yeah. Yes, sirree. I mean, we can do the math on it, but even with the additional life from Near Heath Chaplain, my opponent's not going to be in good shape. Might have been better off equipping the Near Heath Chaplain. So even if he's at 19 life, let's do some math here. Let's say he blocks my two biggest guys, right? Oh yeah, and I get to bring back something. I guess we can bring back a captive, I guess. Yeah, it's something that flips and gets big. Good use of scavenger. Can play it, but it flips our dude back. I don't know if I want to do that. So let's go to combat. Let's do some math now. Okay. So let's say he can only block two guys. That's the important thing to note. So he blocks my two biggest guys. How much damage does he take? I can't attack with this zombie. So he blocks my two biggest guys. I can't attack with this, and I can't attack with my zombie. My two biggest guys are this and this. So where does that leave us? That leaves us with 6, 10, 15. Yeah, we are very lethal. We're okay. Opponent concedes. Cool. All right. Well, that was cool. Deck worked really well for us there. I love the fact that you have this common cycle of Meld, right? That gives you just a phenomenal board state like changer with giving all your dudes menace. Like stalled board state, you really can't ask for a better board state breaker than like board full of dudes. Okay, I'm going to attack you for 1,000,000 and you have to double block everything. Pretty insane. All right, we'll see you in the final round in just a second.